If you're more Slim Shady than Notorious B.I.G., then this 34mm watch from Praesidus might wrap around your wrist perfectly. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to the channel before the puns get any worse. Bad jokes aside, today's watch is a throwback to an age when real men wore small timepieces. This is the Jungle Field Popcorn Patina 34mm combat watch, based on the iconic GGW113, a favourite of US pilots during the Vietnam War. The Jungle Field comes courtesy, that is, free to me, from US based Praesidus. Praesidus have been kind enough to send me a couple of watches in as many years, starting in 2022 with their A11 Vinsperanza. The brand prides itself on resurrecting some classic and vintage military watches and telling the stories of the veterans that wore them. As mentioned, the Jungle Field is a freebie and mine to do with whatever I wish. I've not been paid for this review and I won't be holding back when it comes to my thoughts on the watch. Let's jump in, starting with its minute dimensions. It has a true width of 34mm, but I measure its overall thickness at 9.8mm, a little thicker than the website stated 9.4. A lug to lug of 41.7mm and a lug width of 18. Even allowing for tolerances with construction and the calibration of my calipers, the Jungle Field is tiny by modern standards, and although Praesidus have been known to upscale a lot of their iconic inspired watches, they've left the dimensions of this one as close to the original as possible. The case of the Jungle Field has a stated surgical grade stainless steel construction. My guess would be the industry standard 316L. It's been entirely sandblasted, which is ideal for a military tool watch that would quite literally be put through the wars and inevitably wounded with the odd scratch, or worse. I would add that the sandblasting is quite fine, by no means a hammerite finish. Praesidus have opted for aesthetics over combat ready, therefore the popcorn may not be as tough as its ancestors, but may have the edge when it comes to looks. Add to that the slim lugs, slender profile, thin bezel and box dome crystal, and the watch is beginning to look quite appealing for those of us that prefer civvy life to warfare. They've even installed drill lugs, a must for those that like to swap out their straps. But totally unnecessary on this combo, as this black canvas strap has spring bars installed, making it a quick change under fire during your daily online Teams chat. The coin edge crown is a fairly standard, no logo here, pull-out affair, which limits the watch's water resistance to 5 atmospheres or 50 meters. The original 113 was considered splash proof at 30 meters, so the popcorn might be considered an upgrade. Also consider that the gorgeous domed crystal is only sapphire coated K1 mineral glass, a minor upgrade to the original 1960s plexiglass. It comes with an anti-reflective coating, but it's not stated whether this is on the inner or outer surface, therefore you may want to play it safe in the urban trenches wearing the Praesidus. The subtle textured black dial reveals itself under macro to have a gravelly tarmac-like finish. Around its perimeter is a minute track with white seconds indices and tiny beige painted triangles for the 5-second markers. There are bold, or as bold as they can be in miniature, 12-hour beige painted Arabics. Being a field watch, they are supported by an inner track of smaller white Arabics counting the remaining 24 hours. The mixed colour palette of beige for patina and white Arabics on the dial give the Jungle Field its popcorn nickname. If you find the two tones a little jarring, then you'll be pleased to hear that the Jungle Field also comes in an OG dial with all white Arabics, or a very popular OG 107 with full patina, which is currently out of stock. Again, with the benefit of macro, it's plain to see that all those painted indices, markers and Arabics are raised, which would suggest that the dial has been pressed or machine stamped, so there's no chance that any of those characters will go AWOL. In keeping with the original military spec and a stack of other watches in the Praesidus collection, you purists will be glad to see that the dial is unbranded. The simple three-hander has polished sword hands with added syringe tips for the hours and minutes. The hands are filled with yet more patina, which leads us nicely to the most striking part of the Praesidus, its loom. The jungle is awash with superluminova that helps the popcorn dial pop when the lights go out. Its legibility is unquestionable, with everything but the seconds indices swathed in a blue-green radiance. It's no slouch, but if you want longevity, then you better stick to a dive watch. Back in the light, the hands are topped with a ticking stick hand with lollipop counterbalance. The ticking seconds is also a giveaway to what powers the time-telling capabilities of the jungle field. If you are hoping for a hand-wound mechanical movement, then prepare yourself for disappointment, as Praesidus have opted for a rock-solid Swiss-made Ronda 763, a basic quartz movement that is rated for accuracy somewhere between 10 and 20 seconds a month, and should easily run for 3 years before you need to change the battery. They've also kept the dial of the jungle field pretty clean. The only text you'll find is on the sandblasted press-on caseback, where you finally get to see the Praesidus branding, jungle field name, and that the watch is assembled in the good old US of A. There's added text referencing its Swiss quartz movement and its water resistance of 5 atmospheres. The precision of the engraving and its orientation has a well recognised military format. I wouldn't have expected anything less. The black canvas strap serves its purpose, but I've had better from Amazon. The tail has more than enough reinforced holes to allow a snug fit on any size wrist, but I would make use of those quick release spring bars and swap it out at the earliest opportunity. It has a leather type backing and 2 canvas keepers, one floating and the other fixed, close to a standard belt loop style sandblasted tang and buckle, with a finish that doesn't quite match that of the watch. If you don't have any 18mm straps lying around, then you may want to consider the light brown canvas or black leather option available from the Praesidus website. If your budget doesn't stretch to the more established bulletproof Hamilton khaki field and you can live with the smaller dimensions, then the price tag of $195, equivalent to £150, will get you a clean, legible, well-balanced, no-fuss, grab-and-go watch that will be ready when you need it. It comes in a long khaki green coloured box with a basic instruction manual, a set of dog tags and a 2-year guarantee. An attractive package, but at that price they're pitted against some big brand names and the competition is fierce. All I can add is that it has character with a splash of history, and in the length of time I've had it in for review, Praesidus have upgraded the movement to a mecha quartz. Hold out long enough and they may up the ante with a screw-in crown and sapphire glass. The jungle field is a niche watch that will appeal to military collectors, enthusiasts and those with small wrists, but I wouldn't rule it out on a medium-sized wrist. I started my collection wearing 42 and 40mm watches on my fairly average 7-inch wrist. My current daily wear is the 38mm Vulcan Skin Diver, and the Praesidus, courtesy of its ball dial, doesn't look or feel out of place, and its compact size may afford it some protection that I take for granted with my divers. The Praesidus range has grown substantially in the last 2 years, and if the jungle field Popcorn Patina doesn't appeal to you, they may have something in their lineup that does. You can use my link in the video description below to check out their website. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.